Okay, Jaden, I'm just seeing this, and you had texted me about this just right around the time that I was seeing it as well. So, Amazon is an interesting player in this space. They don't get all the hype around like their foundation models, all that kind of stuff, but they are building all this stuff behind the scenes. And because they're Amazon, they can really take their time. Nobody's expecting it. They're not a quote unquote AI company in any meaningful way. Although if you hear Bezos talking, he's like, all I think about is AI. I think he literally said that at World Economic Forum or something like that. So Amazon has this new feature. What's it called? Buy for me or something like
Yep.
that. And it's like, and it's an agent, right? And it actually does something really cool. But I'm also just wondering what Amazon is doing. Okay, anyway, Jaden, you describe the buy for me thing because I want to see if you understand it the same way I do.
Yeah, so it's a new beta feature, and essentially it's going to let customers use their Amazon shopping app to complete purchases from other brand retailer websites if Amazon doesn't have the product directly. So this is what I think is interesting. A lot of people are like, why would Amazon do this? Why would they create a product that essentially is going to go help you buy things that are not on Amazon? It's essentially an AI that can help you purchase something. But for example, if you're like looking at leggings and the medium size is not in stock or whatever, but you really want to buy it, you just say, go buy this for me. They'll go find it somewhere else and they'll put in an order for it. Okay. So a lot of people are like really questioning. First of all, it's cool that they have an AI tool that can go out and purchase products for you and like buy stuff. You can imagine they're going to be rolling a lot of features into Amazon itself, into how they'll be able to run things. I have a theory on why they would be rolling out a product like
Oh, I'm
or
dying to hear
a
this. I'm dying to hear
tool
this.
like this.
I'm always, by
And
the way, I'm always, guys, I'm always here for Jaden's theory. Jaden, again, Jaden has this like community called Off School, SKOOL, which by the way, you have to sign up for $19 a month, best thing ever. But all I want is that besides all the amazing stuff Jaden gives behind the scenes, I just want a Jaden conspiracy page. Sorry, go on.
okay, well, I don't even think this is a conspiracy page or thought necessarily, but if you think about what your usual product or your usual shopping flow is, you pull up Amazon, you look for a thing, it's out of stock, you're like, ah, dang it. This happens to me a lot of times when I'm buying like very specific camera equipment where I'm like, I only want this brand because it integrates with my four other things. Like I just need this, but sometimes they don't sell it on Amazon or it's sold out or something, and I'm like, ah, dang it. There are other websites. So my usual flow would be, okay, it's not on Amazon. I like the 2 day shipping or the 1 day shipping or the overnight shipping or the same day shipping. Man, it's getting so good at Amazon right now. But I'm like, dang it, I'll go buy it from this other website. Now, this is essentially what Amazon's new tool is going to facilitate. The difference is Amazon loses access to all of the data when this happens. If I'm just going to leave Amazon behind and go do it myself, they've lost access to the data. And in addition, they've lost access to my payments. And payment flow, as we know, is huge. So I think this is genius from Amazon's perspective. They know just because they're out of something, now they know that you're still buying it. So they have all this data on you as a consumer. They can tweak your algorithms, your AI algorithms on what you're interested in because they're like, they know the extra 20% of things you can't buy on Amazon. They know every single one of those. So they know exactly what to advertise to you. So I think it's a data play. I think it's a payment flow play because if you're telling their AI agent to go buy it, it goes and buys it from the company or whatever. But it's still running through your Amazon account, running through your Amazon credit card, running through
Right.
the processing. So they keep all of that flow. So essentially, it's like a way for Amazon to eat the world where they're like, look, everything we don't offer, it still goes through us. It's so genius. Then these companies are going to, like Amazon, can do a couple things. Number one, they can go make deals with these other
Yep.
pages or these other companies and be like, look, we're sending you all this flow. We need like a 5% kickback on everything we send over to you. Otherwise, instead of sending them to Nike.com, we're going to send them to Jim's Nike surplus warehouse.com or whatever. I'm sure Nike is like a bad example because they don't do deals with anybody, but um, you could imagine them doing deals with people. So Costco kind of does this famously. So they'll do deals with people. And then the final piece of this, I think, is the fact that when they send you over to another place, I forgot what the final piece was. But that's enough pieces. So you tell me what you think about that, and I'll think about what my other thought
No,
was.
yeah, no. While I filibuster for Jaden, feel free to just jump in anytime. But listen, I think yeah, it's so funny. I hadn't thought of that. It's almost like it feels a bit like the paradigm around like you're selling shovels, during like whatever the gold rush or whatever it is. And so the cool thing about this, and I hadn't really thought about this. Amazon. as I said in the beginning, has tons of runway. Nobody's waiting on them. Everybody's like, Apple, where's your stuff? Blah, 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 OpenAI, where's your stuff? Nobody's being like, Amazon, where's your new foundation model? Meanwhile, Amazon is building all this stuff out. But as big as Amazon thinks, the reason why Amazon is this big is because they think big, right? And they're not just thinking, oh, we're already the marketplace for literally anything you need to buy, and it will be at your doorstep in 20 minutes or something like that. We want to kind of get everywhere else as well. And if you know how Amazon works, they do have all these partnerships with all these other companies and third-party providers and things like this. But the fact that this is going to allow you to use your credit card and everything else, to sort of like use your payment structure, everything else to go in there, it's a step beyond. I hadn't even considered it. I kept thinking, like, how can Amazon get any bigger, any better? But this is how they're trying to eat the world. And Jane, it just makes me think too, like, which companies are actually going to be the behemoths? And like, if we look, I don't like to think about over 10 years in the world of AI. I think it's too far out.
Yeah.
But really, when you think about what Amazon is a sneaky big player in the world of AI, right?
Yep. 100%. So I think the last thing I was probably thinking of before is just the fact that Amazon has to do this in order to compete with what's currently offered in the market. So the big players that they're competing with right now, I think Perplexity is probably the biggest. OpenAI and Google are kind of making agents, but Perplexity is really, I think, crushing this because they have a shopping tool that they've created. And kind of like Google Shopping, this can search and do searches. And eventually, as all these models move to agents, these players move to agents that can actually do the buying for you.
Yep.
I think what's essentially going to be the big competitive advantage that Amazon will lose out on is if I go and ask Amazon's thing to buy X, Y, and Z Lululemon leggings at this size and style for my wife, and then it buys them, or no, it says, sorry, we don't have this in stock. I'm just going to go to Perplexity. And I'm like, Perplexity is just going to find it at like 100 different websites and suppliers. So just find what I'm looking for. It'll just do it. And so Amazon will lose out and people will stop using their tool. They have to be able to offer everything in order to be competitive. And so it is an interesting point where all of a sudden Amazon moves out. And like I mentioned before, they still retain the data, they retain the processing. Even if they don't get a commission, that's fine. They just don't want to lose customers. They don't want, oh, I'm an Amazon customer, I use Amazon Prime for everything. All of a sudden, there's these new AI shopping experiences that are better. Sorry, Amazon. Now it's more convenient. I'm moving over. Amazon wants to always be the most convenient place. And because you have your credit card payment already in there, like that's convenient. And so I think they're going to try to streamline that. But I do think it's interesting. They have to make a couple concessions in order to essentially stay relevant with some of the other competitors.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. And we have to keep remembering, like, in the same way that AI, or generative AI rather, just augments what you do. So again, I get always a lot of questions like, oh, can it automate this? I'm like, it's not, generative AI is not an automator machine. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's an augment machine, because like the way large language models work is sort of like how your brain works. It's a companion, it's a co-pilot to you, it's everything else, all these things, but it's not an automatic mail sorter. It doesn't work like that. It has a brain, and that makes it both easier to use and also harder to use in some way and everything else. But when we think about AI in general, and especially generative AI, it's a tool, right? It's a process for all these other things to get, to start owning eyeballs, essentially, right? So why do we all have iPhones? It's just like for years and years and years, this has been the best device. It's just been flat out the best device. So now we are all in the Apple ecosystem. Same with Google. It's just has some of the best products. Same with Microsoft. It's had some of the best products, and just all of enterprise uses it. So how does Amazon own us? Well, Amazon mostly owns us through our shopping experience. But what if they can use AI to own us throughout these other things? Jaden, it reminds me a little bit of how OpenAI, for example, and by the way, Perplexity is taking a big swing. Perplexity is like the hamster in a room of gorillas here trying to find.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're trying to do this. But Perplexity keeps taking these really strange, and I love Perplexity, strange big swings like, oh, we can do all, we'll handle all your tasks in your calendar through Perplexity. I'm like, but why would I want Perplexity to do that? Now, when OpenAI does it, I'm like, okay, that's a step closer to me just living inside OpenAI, not having to go. That's what Amazon wants. It's what Google wants, Microsoft wants, everybody wants. They want you to come to their site and live there. You don't have to, exactly as Jaden said, you don't have to go anywhere else to do anything else. One-stop shop. It's why all these big tech companies have incredible kitchens and laundry rooms and childcare and everything in their building. Why? Because they want you working there nonstop. It makes sense. This is the thing. Anything that can be a one-stop shop, that's the gold. And Amazon is going for that big time.
100%. The last thing I'll say on this is I think I definitely got like really I went off definitely on the fact that they're going to third party places. I think this is a big part of the story. The other part of the story though that I think is really important is the fact that people are trusting an AI to autonomously shop for them.
Yeah.
You go to their AI tool and you say, I need a new, camera fan for my camera. My old one broke, doesn't work. Please go buy it and order it to me as soon as possible. And then I walk away and move on with my life.
Right.
That is some serious trust. Like, what brand, what type, what if it's really cheapy and I don't like it? What if, like, are they going to read their reviews? Like, there's all these things that, like, I think myself and probably everyone, we're making purchasing decisions. This is the closest thing to our wallet that it gets. We're like concerned about. And then on top of that, like, oh, what if it can't find it on Amazon? It goes, buys it on a third party site. And now I want to return it. It doesn't have Amazon's great return policy. Like, there's all of these different like elements that I think people are really going to be concerned about. So the big question at the end of the day is that I'll ask you, Connor, as we're wrapping up is, would you use a completely automated shopping experience like this from Amazon? Would you trust it to say, hey, like, go buy me a new Bluetooth computer mouse. I kind of want it to be like X, Y, and Z, and then just like move on? Could you do that? Or do you have to sit there and scroll through like 50 listings for an hour and pick your favorite one that you read all the reviews to?
I have to. I'm a control freak. But I mean, but also some of that stuff I like doing. But then if it said like Amazon was like, hey, Connor, don't worry, we're going to buy you clothes. I'm like, all right, I don't care. Do you know what I mean? Like there's certain things.
True.
So maybe it's just like certain, and by the way, that would horrify some people, including my wife, I'm sure. But like, if I told my wife, I'm just going to buy clothes from Amazon, she's like, why, Connor? You have to look better than you do right now. But here's the thing, right? It's just like some products I just don't care about. Food, I don't really care about food. I know that sounds strange, but like electronic products I really care about. It's probably just gonna be that, Jaden. And maybe this is it. Maybe the lesson here is that it will speed up the things that you want to just get through fast, and that is worth checking out, I think.
Okay, last thing, because you brought it up. I know we're wrapping. We're running out of time here. When you mentioned food, oh my gosh, I care about food like 1000%. I like my wife and I were like food crazy freaks where we look at the ingredients on every single thing. That would make our life so simple. I could make a giant prompt that's like, do my shopping. I need like these things, and make sure that any product I purchase does not have this list of like 500 chemicals that I'm like concerned they put in my food. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. So, okay.
Right.
Some good use cases I'm excited about here.
No, the great thing though, this is the thing, and guys, this is the lesson about generative AI too. It doesn't matter what it does; it matters what you need to do. Start with AI.
Totally.
Don't start with what you know. So if you love writing, if you love writing poetry, don't have it write poetry for you. You can choose. Listen, thank you for joining us. I will tell you this, guys. If you like podcasts, if you like listening to podcasts, Jaden also, by the way, has an incredible podcast course. It's the best one out there. It's like kind of kept under wraps. Like he's sort of like been sort of like talking about it here and there. I am trying to out him on this to get this to more people. But we'll drop a link in the show notes about where you can get this incredible podcast course too. Otherwise, we will see you next time.
Thanks so much for tuning in.